All right, number 8, we get to graph this function. Y equals 1/2 sine times theta over 2 plus 45 minus 2. All right. So the first thing, we're asked to not only graph this, but we're asked to find the amplitude, the period in degrees, the phase shift in degrees, and the vertical shift. So let's find all of those. The amplitude is always going to be this number that we're multiplying the sine function by. So the amplitude is 1/2. The period is going to be 360 degrees is the normal period for a sine function, but then we've got to divide it by this number here, the number that we're multiplying theta by. So that is 1/2. This is 1/2 theta. So the period is going to be 360 divided by 1/2, which is 720. Remember, the dividing by 1/2 is the same as multiplying by 2. Okay, and then the phase shift is, so the phase shift is going to be this number here divided by that 1/2. So 45 divided by 1/2 is 90. So 90 degrees is the phase shift. Remember that the phase shift goes the opposite direction of what we would expect. So since this is, we're adding here, this is going to shift to the left. So this 90 degrees to the left is the phase shift, and then the vertical shift is going to be down 2. Since that, because of this -2 out here at the end. All right, now that we've got all this information, we can graph it. So let's start with the vertical shift. We're going to start with the midline, which is just always going to be that number out here. It's going to be y equals -2 is our midline. So we draw that midline there. This is a sine function, so we're going to start on the midline. But we've got this phase shift that's going to bring us back to the left 90 degrees. So we're going to be out here about 90 degrees this way to start. And then we'll be back on that midline after one period. So -90 plus 720 is going to put us out here at 630 at the end of one period. Now halfway between these 2 points, so this point plus 360, half a period, we're going to cross the midline again, because remember the sine function starts at the midline, it crosses the midline halfway through, and then comes back up to the midline at the end of the period. So that's going to be here at 270, -90 plus 360. And then halfway between these 2 points, which will be at 90, we're going to reach our maximum. And the maximum is the midline plus the amplitude. So we're at -2 plus 1/2 is going to be -1.5. So our maximum is going to be right about there at 90 degrees and -1/2. And then the minimum is going to come halfway between these 2 points. So halfway between 270 and 630 is going to be right here at 450. And it's going to be at -2.5. That's our midline minus our amplitude. And now that we've got those points, we can draw our sine curve in there.